Hey guys, welcome to Ianis United. Welcome to another video, and today is time to make a different video. This is gonna be more like a scout report about one of the players that's been rumored to be joining, or that is being rumored that could be joining Barcelona within the next few days or weeks, or in this summer transfer window, and that is Ianis Hagi, Gheorghe Hagi's son, former Barcelona player that played from the 94 to 96 season. It's been rumored that he'll be joining Barcelona's B team apparently. And before getting started with Barca B and stuff like that, let's get started on what kind of profile player he is. As you're seeing in your screen, he's a player that, from what I've been able to see from him, which is pretty much just a few minutes, a few clips. I don't watch his team. I don't watch Romania play. I am not gonna tell you that I've seen him play, that I've scouted him for a few months already. Not at all. I just heard his name yesterday, and it seemed interesting because, you know, anytime that a player that had a future star father or something comes along, it is interesting to watch what if they have the potential to surpass their parents or be at a similar level. And you know, I saw videos about him. He's rated really highly. He's a Romanian international, had a really good performance in the under 20 European Championships. He was fairly good during the tournament. He's been good this season, scored 14 goals and 6 assists during the whole season in 39 games or something like that. He's 20 years old. He's, in my opinion, of what I've been able to see of him, which is, I'm gonna say this, it's not been much, but of what I've been able to see of him, he has really good technique. He's a really good player. He's a really interesting player. Has a lot going for him. I really rate him. I really do. Of what I've been able to see, at least, he seems to have really good passing, really good vision, really good technique. He's a little bit weaker on the weak side, but I think that at least he can hold himself a little bit to collisions, because, you know, he seems to be able to like have a really low center of gravity, which means that anytime he gets touched, it's pretty much a foul, or that he's going to hold himself a little bit. If I had to profile him, I would say that he's to a similar level, or not level, to a similar profile of a player to Messi. If I had to say a player of Barcelona really quick, where would he fit in? He would more likely than not be Messi's replacement, barring the fact that he's not near to Messi's level. But I'm just saying that the profile of player, like, he's a playmaker that likes to come to the center. He can also play from the wing, that is really skillful, really good passing, really good vision. I mean, not to Lionel Messi level, but those are his strengths, definitely. On his play, really good shot, good shot with both feet. What I like especially about him is that he feels really light on the ankles. Like, he looks really light. That he has those light ankles it's just amazing. Like, he can change direction really quick, which is always an asset for a defender, for any player. Being able to change direction at any point, especially for a forward, is really important. It gives you like unpredictability, and is really beneficial when you're forward. He has a good shot on both feet. He's played already 5 caps for the Romanian national team, so he's a fully capped international and is very interesting. Now, the rumors putting him to joining Barca B is like, we're doing this with a lot of players already. Like, they look promising and we go and sign him for Barca B. I think it's alright. I don't know if he goes from being a fully international to playing to Segunda V, which is the 3rd division of Spanish football. It's not that great, to be honest. I think that he would be most beneficial if we bought him and then loaned him out to maybe Segunda or a team in Primera, you know, something like that, like something like Leganés this season. I mean, of what I see of him, at least ability-wise, he's better than Jose Arnaiz and Leganés. But Jose Arnaiz, okay, barring that he didn't get many opportunities this season, but this kid looks really interesting. And the first thing that I have to mention is that yes, he looks very interesting, looks very promising. He has a lot of potential, definitely. But this could be the case of another player that has tons of potential, that is evident that everyone can see it, and that for one reason or another he's not able to succeed his potential and fulfill what he should be in world football as a really good player. Like a bit technique-wise, he could be one of the best players in the world. Not gonna say the best or one of the best, but definitely one of the better players in the world. And he has the potential. I think it's evident for anyone that can see these. I think that, I would like to see more watch time about him, but he is a fairly good player. I think that he could develop very well at Barcelona. That passing style, he's very quick. Unlike Coutinho, he's much more of a dribbler and is much faster than him. At least has much better acceleration and sprint speed that Coutinho does. His shot is quite good as well. It just looks very good for what we need. Like if Barcelona wants to replace Messi eventually, you could have this kid loan out for a few seasons, and when I expect Messi to slow down, which is never, like at this level he's not slowing down ever, but obviously you can see that physically Messi has to be reserving himself every season, every time, because he's losing that just pure stamina that obviously you're not expected to keep that stamina for until you're 40 or 50. Messi's losing stamina, and looking for a replacement if you're able to for a cheap price, like a young promise, I think is fine. But I think we shouldn't treat Hagi as we shouldn't treat him as everything rests on your shoulders. You need to perform every time, and we also have to consider that he's a young player that needs to be given minutes. Like if he's gonna be trusted with the future of Barcelona's attack, he needs to be given minutes like any other young player. Players like Dembele, players like Todibo, players like Oriol Busquets, Riqui Puig, Aleñá, Gheorghe, all of these players have to be given minutes if you want to succeed. There's not been a case of any player that's been young and is not being given minutes. Like all the players need to have opportunities to grow in confidence, develop themselves. You can only get better. Like yes, training is very important and you can get better on training, but only during the pitch that you're able to get that confidence that you need to perform week in and week out every single week. So it is really interesting that he's been linked. I think Hagi has the potential to be definitely a really good player for Barcelona. It looks really interesting. If I would have to say, if you can get him for less than 8-10 million, if you can get him for maybe 5 million euros, something like that, and I think an interesting deal would be maybe you can buy him and then you can sell him for 2 years and maybe lower the price of his fee. I think that he's a fairly good player. It would be very interesting for Barcelona to sign him, but I don't want him to be a case of Halilovic, another Halilovic situation where, for me, Halilovic, I'm gonna say it time and time again, he's only 23, and in my opinion, Halilovic should have been one of the best midfielders in that we've had our youth academy. Halilovic was full of potential. He had I see in Halilovic, I see everything that I need in a Barcelona midfield, and it's the same impression that I saw when I see Riqui Puig, when I see Artur, when I see De Jong. That is what I see in Halilovic. I see potential that, unfortunately, in comparison to the others, at least at this moment in time, has been misused. And he's been unlucky with some of his loan deals. He's not gone on good loan deals most of the time. I think in Las Palmas, we saw a little bit of his potential. It was unfortunate that we couldn't fit in Barcelona. He chose to go to Milan. Gattuso didn't really opt to go with him, as I think was expected. At Standard Liège, he's had a much better time around, but doesn't matter who you are, you can have as much potential as you want. If you don't get the right minutes, you will more likely not succeed to the level that you should. For example, let's put it this way: if Kylian Mbappe was to join Barcelona instead of Dembele, I think that Kylian Mbappe wouldn't be the player that he is right now, as one of the best players in the world at this current moment in time, because I just think that he wouldn't been given as many minutes as Dembele. Like, if you switch spots with Dembele and Mbappe, I'm sure that Dembele is better right now just because he would have played a lot more and his confidence will be a lot higher. Now, do I agree with this kind of player, with this kind of signing? Yes, I do. I do, if you're gonna get him for cheap, because pretty much if you can get him for less than 10 million euros, I'm sure that the worst case scenario, you get your money back for him. Any other club will see this ability and will try to take upon him in. He's really young. If he in 2-3 years he doesn't succeed at Barcelona, I'm sure that at 23 years old, someone will be able to take upon him and risk 10 million euros for him, seeing how the prices are right now for young stars. Another similar case would be Gerard Deulofeu, a player that came to La Masia that has a lot of potential, that I think is actually really good, but in comparison to other players, he's just being looked away because he didn't succeed at Barcelona. But again, didn't succeed a little bit because of his attitude, and also because he wasn't given proper minutes. Like, some of these players have been victims of the post Laporta era. Like, we used to be doing things a certain way. Players like Pedro, Busquets. Like, do you think that Pedro and Busquets would have been promoted from Tercera División, which is the 4th division in Spanish football, to playing consistent Champions League, La Liga, and Copa del Rey football in their first season by taking Yaya Toure out of the squad? Guardiola was brave enough because he saw the potential. If we see the potential but we are scared of giving the kids chances, then don't sign them, because you're going to ruin their career, you're going to lower their value, and you're going to end up losing money. I think a deal like this is good because I think you can even turn a quick profit. Like, for example, Todibo, you turn a quick profit on him. Marlon Santos, you bought him and turned a quick profit on him. Yerry Mina, we got more than what we paid for him. There's been cases of players that we got a good deal for that, but do we really just want to buy players to later sell them on as to get more money? Like, it's perfectly feasible and understandable, but I don't know if that's the image of the club that we want to be, looked at. I think that also giving a chance to Abel Ruiz maybe would be really interesting. I think Abel Ruiz, he showed the very few minutes, the only game that he played for Barcelona last season, I think that he showed a little bit of stuff. Like, he showed that he's an interesting player. There's a reason that he's one of the best players of La Roja, of Spain's under-17 squad. I think that potential-wise, he could be at least a good backup striker, at least a useful player. And there is plenty of those. You don't have to have 40 starters. You have to have a very good amount of good players that are going to be able to be happy with the minutes that they're given, even if they're not a lot of them. So with that said and done, let me comment in the comment section below. Do you think that we should sign Ianis Hagi to Barcelona, to either the first team or the B team? Leave it in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one on Blog Greatness.